It's so good to be here. And it's a pleasure for me to moderate this session, which features Kun Prab Thakral, who is the president and CEO of Boutique Corporation. Now, Prab was telling me just recently that one of his rising businesses has to do with producing alternative wellness solutions, in particular, high-grade cannabis that can be used in wellness space. And I think he just got into this recently. It's a diversification of real estate, and his Bespoke Life Science.
That's right.
Yeah, which is a subsidiary that has opened 3 dispensaries in Bangkok, and I believe you are planning to open up to 20 by
20 this year, yes.
By this year.
That's right.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you know how wellness is truly a growth industry. It's a future market. And Thailand has also announced its intention to be the pioneer in cannabis tourism. So we have about 10 minutes to discuss this future market, so let's get down to it. Prab, can you tell me what exactly is cannabis tourism? And what are dispensaries?
Sure. So we don't only do dispensaries, we also grow high-grade cannabis in indoor systems. Mm-hmm. I would say that cannabis tourism falls into 2 areas first. One is our people who particularly know what they want. They want a cannabis experience, and they will purposefully seek Thailand as a destination to actually experience cannabis legally. And that's a very important point. And these people usually look for high-grade cannabis. The second aspect is people who are inquisitive and would become early adopters. So they will come in and they will try cannabis either on recreational level or a wellness level. And of course, we have third one, is people who are looking for cannabis as a wellness solution, but more education is needed for that.
I see. So, but what can cannabis do for wellness? What are some of the various applications?
Well, in large markets, for example, like the US, 40% of people would use, or documented users would use cannabis for pain, 20% for anxiety, and the remainder would be for insomnia, arthritis, and also basically the after effects of going through cancer treatments. So there is a lot of wellness elements to cannabis as well.
How does that work with the cancer treatments?
Well, certainly here in, say, not our dispensaries, but in our clinics, we do have people who come in and get prescription cannabis oils, and they would actually take the oils after they go through their therapies, and this would assist their bodies in actually recovering quicker because their appetite comes back, they eat, they feel healthier, they sleep better. So there are some very, very, very good uses for cannabis.
So what innovations do you see in cannabis tourism around the world, and what can Thailand do to innovate the space?
I mean, we see innovation on, in essence, quality cannabis and actually driving the chemicals within cannabis to ensure that cannabis can actually meet the need of consumers. There are so many uses for cannabis, and basically the science is actually to drive different strains to meet different needs for people. And this is being done in the US, and this can also be driven here in Thailand, particularly for tourism also on a different level. You can also drive cannabis with culinary experiences. You can drive cannabis with wellness treatments. You can drive cannabis with tours and farm tours. So there are a lot of innovation both on a product side and also on a much deeper scientific level.
So right now, the business is largely dispensary for you, or do you also do culinary tours or farm tours?
Yeah, it's a very new business, and our output is just meeting kind of the growth of our dispensaries right now. So as we grow more and as we grow out the dispensaries, of course, we would aim to look at integrating experiences like tours on the farm and integrating experiences like culinary experiences as well.
So you work with the university, the technology university?
Yes, we work with the university
right?
in Nan, who's our research and development partner, and that's how we initially started growing cannabis and entering into this market. And we continue to grow out our farming phases now as we grow out our dispensaries. And again, this is a very new business.
Tell me, how does it bring high quality tourists though?
Cannabis is, well, the people who come who know cannabis, and certainly if you look at the US and Canadian markets, high grade cannabis for recreational use certainly, and this is one example, is not cheap. It can be quite expensive, people looking for the best strains. So focusing on quality and focusing on cannabis, which is very high grade, that will bring actually people who actually spend quite a lot of money on their cannabis. So we do high-end dispensaries, we're not doing the street trucks, and we're seeing people put top dollar down to actually buy cannabis. On the wellness side also, aspects like sleep, using Thai traditional medicine for sleep, and using concoctions on that side, that also will bring high quality tourists. And again, a lot of education is needed to drive this.
Is this a good way of bringing high repeat travelers? I mean, not high travelers, high numbers of repeat travelers.
Well, they'll come here sober, but they'll definitely be leaving high. No. Well, let's put it in context. Nowhere in this part of the world can you legally consume cannabis, and I'm pretty sure that Thailand will drive a very high number of repeat tourists for the purpose of cannabis, both on the wellness side and also on the recreational side.
What are the risks though? I was in Samui just last December and I see a lot of stores popping up. There are dispensaries and there are also restaurants. One even called itself Hempire.
Yeah.
So what are the risks? Are these guys licensed? Do they produce high-grade cannabis? What are the repercussions?
We have a lot of unlicensed sellers who are actually importing illegally importing, and it's illegal to import cannabis from countries that produce it, and they're actually importing the rejects, the cannabis rejects, and selling them. And what the risk are with unlicensed sellers is they're lacing the cannabis with pesticides and perhaps other toxins that give you a high where not necessarily the cannabis is giving you the psychoactive effect. And I think that really is dangerous. The authorities have begun raids, but it's very hard to run after a food truck with selling cannabis. So the shops that have shut down in physical locations stay shut down. I think they still need to work on the trucks. And as the industry matures with players like us, of course there'll be a bigger movement to ensure that compliance is instilled.
Are there a lot of players like yourself now?
On the whole value chain, production all the way to processing and then dispensing or prescribing, I would say there is probably 2 other players like us in the industry.
Hospitals going to offer cannabis treatments?
Hospitals, interestingly, because they offer traditional pharmaceutical therapies and drugs, tend to shy away from cannabis that could be seen as a substitute for aspects like anxiety and insomnia and many other ailments.
Are you able to share with us some data maybe on the dollars and cents side of the business?
I won't share the data just yet, but what I can say is that the throughput to our farm is not sufficient to serve our current dispensaries. What I can say is that in, say, our Sukhumvit Soy 11 store, 70% are tourists and 30% are expats. In stores that we open in areas with residences, like Soy 16 near Asok, where there's a lot of condos, we have about 30 to 40% expats, and we have 30 to 40% tourists. Yes, time's up. I know there's a lot of questions, so you can, if you have questions, do approach me.
Yeah, I think so. So thank you very much for that short introduction to
Thank you.
Cannabis tourism, and won't hold you back. You know, there are drinks coming up, and it's just one more session. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you. Sawasdee krap. Sawasdee krap.